Hello, and welcome to Rallying the Forge. I'm your host, Sol. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rallying the Forge. I am Solimer, and we have a lot to cover today. So last time we were here, we were talking about the prize event in September. I haven't done any content really since then. Just been busy with things, and I'm still working on my own personal setup so that I can do this easier. But nonetheless, we have a lot to talk about since then. Obviously, we had the prize event, and if you remember, Carl and Bryce went undefeated in that, and they did a great job with that. Congrats to them again. Was a wonderful competition, that entire event. Myself, I probably had one of the hardest lineups of opponents. I finished 16th as the top 2-2 player. So, still disappointed with that, but we have a chance to redeem ourselves this month, which we'll get to here. So, since that time, last month in October, I wanted to do a video content on it, but I just did not have the time because it was a grind. They had the Scorchworm campaign released last month, and they also had it go with a storyline event for the week of its release. Yes, a week long, 7 days. That was a lot of fun. By the end of it, it was kind of a grind at that point, but that's okay. We don't get to grind a whole lot in this game, and I was up for it. So if you go to SolForgeFusion.com, which is the website for the game, for SBE there, they have a news tab you can go to, and you can see the articles they put out daily. So they talk about Scorchworm is almost here. They talk about the campaign's going to be released, and then the event that they had. This is no longer active, but they had the event, obviously, and then they put out, again, reiterating the info about the prizes, and then they had the storyline event intro, which I had a nice article which you can read. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's nice addition to the story if that's your thing. I recommend everyone taking the time to read it, though. Normally these are pretty well written little things about the lore and the everything that's going on within the game and the universe there. And then we had daily totals. So initially, they were just posting up the top 10 earners each day, because those people got a booster, or they got a deck each day that someone you place top 10. So out of the 7 days, you can up to 7 decks for finishing top 10 each day. And then they also track the factions, as you can see on the bottom. And then whichever faction ended up winning, anyone who got 50k experience in that faction would get to determine the fate of the Scorchworm, which we'll talk about here in just a minute as well. But then we requested, some of us players requested a little more detailed information. We wanted to know, top 10 earners for each faction, for example. We wanted to know total earned experience as well. So each day they posted totals up, and eventually became a link to this document. So they updated this daily. Once they made it, they updated it daily, and this was through the weekend and everything. So they were working, putting those extra hours in, which we appreciate. So shout out to Lucas and Sam Travis for that. We appreciate the effort you guys put in for this, for the community, for those of us participating. They had some numbers they put out. I think there was 125 unique players who participated in the new campaign in some fashion, whether they completed it, did multiple runs, etc. So I'm just going to go through all these tabs here real quick. I'm not going to go in depth about them. You can find this link through the news articles, and it also might be on the Discord. You might have to scroll for that, though, or maybe it's in the announcements channel. I'm not sure. We'll get to Discord in a little bit here. But so you see the day one totals, and basically if you're getting 100K a day, you're going to be top 10 is what it looked like. So no one really knew how much initially people were going to earn. And then you can see day two, it steps up. People step up their game. Also, I think day one, the Aussies didn't get a full day worth of a chance to play the event because it came out at like 4 Eastern, 3 Eastern, 2 Eastern, something like that. So they're 14 hours difference. It was overnight for them. So they didn't get a full day's worth of playing in, I don't feel like. Day two, they definitely showed up. You can see them all throughout the top 10 here. Thursday, I don't know what those names on the right are for, but you can see the top 10. And again, the very top of the pool there, it's getting very competitive. And it will show you why also. This is the Friday that it was out, and again, the very top is extremely competitive. And then I played basically all day to get that. Well, it was on and off, but it was not. It was all day playing basically, because I'll tell you here in a few. And then it's you can see it slows down. Ankh was killing it, but he was still pushing. And then on the last day, again he's pushing it. I was lucky to get as much as I did that last day. So you had faction totals each day, how much they earned, and then they had a total there, which you see Utera won, barely. Us Tempe's players did not do enough to do that, and the other Necrim and Aloyn just didn't have enough backing to really compete. But it was Utero was way ahead, and when I made the switch to full-time Tempest, it really got pushed because it was going pretty competitive, but then we fell off the last 2 days. Unfortunately, you can see that Saturday where I earned that 400K, we crushed it that day. And then that Sunday, I didn't play as much because I was getting a little burnt out, and I was just taking it casual. If I would have just played and not screwed around that day, we would have been in better shape. We might have won the whole thing. But nonetheless, Utera wins. So congrats to those players that got 50K or more. You get to decide the fate of the Scorchworm, which has been done. I think there's a chart. We'll go into Discord for that in a minute. We also had faction leaders. As I said, they were updating this daily, so you can see where you were within the faction, just for competitive sake. The only thing that mattered with the factions is if you were the top player in that faction, you can get deck lore assigned to a deck of your choice that you used in the event. So you can see for Aloyn, Bionic Soup will get deck lore for whatever deck he chose. Congrats to him for that. Necrium, you can see Ankh dominated that. He was basically the sole Necrium grinder. So he'll get a deck as deck lore to one of his decks as well. Congrats to him. I had to fight to get Tempest, but I got that, and I'm excited to see what that turns out to be. This was pretty tough. I don't know who Conqueror is. No one knows who this guy is. So if he's watching at all, like, we want to know who you are because no one recognizes your name. But he was leading Tempest for a while until I jumped in and I had to. I finally passed him up that Saturday when I got the 400K. But before that, he was still leading. And I think once I passed him, I don't think his totals for the day, like, he just kind of threw in the towel, I feel like. And unfortunately, maybe that's why we didn't win the whole thing because he didn't keep competing. Thankfully, in another essence, he didn't because I got to win it because of that. But yeah, no one knows who that guy is. Just a little thing out there, I guess. But yeah, and then for Utera, Faro won that one. That was pretty competitive. Obviously, Traveler got all of his experience on day one in that faction, I believe, and he said he wasn't going to be doing anything with it. He was because people were looking like, well, what faction can I do to win? And Ankh had a substantial lead in Necrium. Aloyan for myself, I hadn't done any Aloyan. I don't think I did any Aloyan, hardly any Aloyan. I didn't get 50K in it even. But it was just Aloyan was struggling because they were earning less experience through the campaign, through all the buffs, the bonuses you can get and whatnot. So it was a real grind for Aloyan, and there was a couple people who were really set into that, especially Jed there. So I wasn't going there. Ankh had too big of a lead in Necrium, and it would have been impossible to overcome him. So I didn't do that one. And then I didn't really want to do Utera just because I'm kind of on an anti-Utera kick lately. So I went with Tempest. That seems to be my faction. I've even changed my Discord faction to Tempest now from Aloyan. I loved Aloyan in the original SolForge, and I had hopes that, it was. I feel like it was weak, even in the original SolForge, but it had some good mechanics and whatnot, and it still could compete a little bit. But yeah, nonetheless. So I chose Tempest and had to compete with Conqueror, and I ended up overtaking him. Utera could have competed there as well, but I chose not to, and then it got pretty competitive anyway, with everyone who passed Traveler up. So they were grinding pretty hard every day to get those scores up, and Faro ends up winning. So congrats to everyone who got some deck lore, and thanks to everyone who participated and helped make this a competitive event. Even though it's solo play in a campaign, it was a lot of fun. It was great. This is what I've been looking for from the game, where we can have something that's competitive, where people compete, not necessarily like a week long. A week long was really long. 5 days probably would have been more than enough, but I get trying to have it long enough where people get a chance to play because of whatever circumstances. So then we have the top 10 XP earners overall. This didn't do anything other than just for the competitiveness. So they put that together for us, and you can see the people who earned the most. So Ankh was trying to catch me. I had to put in that last day to feel secure, to hold on to it. I saw he was pushing because he had asked in chat that morning about something weird happening with his with one of his decks or something like that. I don't recall the exact situation. So they'd put up like, oh, you've earned this much today so far. And I was like, oh, he's still pushing. So when I got home that day, I wasn't feeling it because I was kind of burnt out, to be honest. But I ground out the remaining experience to get that. And then this was a list of everyone who got 50,000 in Utera, for the determining the fate of the Scorchworm. Or no, this was just players over 50K. So if you got over 50K experience, period, you got a booster of set 3 decks. And then players over 50K here, there was 30 of us, 29 of us, 30 of us, 30 of us, that got to determine the fate of the Scorchworm. So let me hop over to Discord and let's see. So they sent out a survey to those players, and we got to choose. I don't know if he shows it here. So Nova wanted to kill the dragon, and it sounds like had that won. You can see Oro's won based on the screen here. If Nova won, it sounds like the card would have became an Exalt for Utera. Obviously, the overwhelming majority selected Oros and felt the dragon could be saved, so now they're going to get a creature. And this is all going to be in set 4, and we do know from some spoilers, spoiler alert, if you haven't or don't want to know, skip ahead 30 seconds or something, but Lucas has said that the legendary for this set will be in Utera. This is the 4th set. Every other faction has had a legendary, and Utera is the only one who did not have one yet, so they're getting one, and it's going to be a plant creature. So that's all the info I have for it, that I recall anyway. I don't know if he was going to make a list of everything he had put out on his streams, but I don't recall if he's done that or not. But nonetheless, so in addition to that, they're also going to get the Scorchworm. We don't know if it's going to be a soulbind creature. We don't know if it's going to be just a regular creature. No idea, and no idea how strong it's going to be or anything of that nature. So they had a little bit of lore with the choice. They had a little conversation between Nova and Oros. I don't know if I can access the survey still or not. I'd have to dig in through, find the link anyway. But basically, Nova wanted to kill the dragon, and Oros wanted to save it and say, even though it's blighted, it can be saved. And Nova kind of made because Nova wanted to kill it, Oros was like, well, I was blighted once, and, should you have just killed me? So it was kind of a little interesting storyline arc there. So anyhow, this was October. This was a week long. This was the release of the Scorchworm campaign in the game. And I'll show it on here. Ooh, what? Wait a minute. Oh, it's because I have a campaign going. I don't recall having that going. We'll just confirm. There it goes. All right. I was going to say, where did this... I didn't notice the campaign went away. I haven't played campaigns since that week because we played so much. So you can see I beat level Ascension 10 on this. You get a badge for that. Under cosmetics. So all of our badges you can earn. Of course, you get the Scorchworm badges, just defeating it, and then 5 and 10. This was a fun event. I didn't get to cover it with a video or any live streaming or anything of that nature, unfortunately. But I was making time in this video for it. So that was that event. Like I said, that was a lot of fun. They had the news articles. They had the spreadsheet that we covered. And then I guess the last thing I should show you for it that we just got is the decks. All of the decks that people won. So I was a leader all 7 days, and I got 50,000 experience, so I got the maximum of 11 decks. All of the decks start with Scorchworms, whatever. So every deck that anyone got got Scorchworm in its title, which is kind of cool. So those are the ones I got. Those are 10 of them anyway. I got an 11th. So that was pretty cool. I looked through mine. Nothing stood out as like broken. So, but we'll see. Maybe something will come up one day where I put something together for it. But yeah, so everyone got decks. That was really cool, and with the special naming and all. So if you did win any decks, or not sure if you did or not, you can search on the website. Search for Scorchworm. You could probably do this in the client as well. But you can pull that up and it'll pull up any decks you might have got. They were not given like a code. They were just directly put onto your account. I don't know if it was last week or this week or when it happened, but it was recent. And yeah, so you can look up what decks you might have got. Of course, I tag all my stuff so I kind of remember where they came from for when I forget everything. So that leads into what else has been going on. Obviously, the client has had a bunch of updates that they've been pushing out, and I really haven't covered any of it. Not because I haven't wanted to, just because I haven't been putting out content, and I've been wanting to, and I need to. And I'll once I get my setup how I need it and want it, it'll be more regular for this stuff. Like, so you can see, obviously, they changed when you come in. They got the Scorchworm background here going. It looks really good. We now have embers in the game, so you can see that. We had gold before. There's a new events button here, which we'll get into. And then the shop. There's been a lot of changes in the shop. So they have deals. They had this initially where you could buy it with gold, I believe, or maybe it was cash. I don't remember. They had these same deals before, and you could buy them. So I bought them initially because they're really, really good value. So I guess now they're embers. You can buy them with embers. Let's talk about embers first. So if you hit up here, they move the buy embers button to up here, and they have different price points for what you get. The best value is definitely, obviously, the biggest package, which is $100. You get 2,000 embers, so that works out to be 200 embers is essentially $10 if you buy the big pack. So you can see it goes all the way down to $5 if you want to buy something a little bit less. But spend whatever you choose, do or don't. Potentially in the future, when they hold these big events, like they're going to be doing here in November, they're not doing it this November, but they maybe do it in future ones. Potential rewards could include embers, so it might be something you can earn for free by doing well in an event of some nature, potentially. So, but if you're going to buy, this is definitely the best value. So like I said, 200 is essentially $10. I think if you buy them at the $5 rate, yeah, it's basically going to be 100 embers is $10. So, yeah, 100 embers, $10 if you buy them. If you don't buy them at the highest rate, you basically get double value here. Is how I look at it. So when you go to these deals, you can see it was 300 embers. Oh no, normally it would be 300 embers. They brought it down to 40 embers. So that's $4 or $2, depending on what price point you bought in at. But $2 to $4 for a booster kit and a potion, a Soulbind potion. The Soulbind potion costs 7,500 gold or 100 embers. So that's essentially $10 in cost. So this being 40 embers is worthwhile alone, just for the Soulbind potion. But you also get a booster kit from Alpha. Then they have individual decks. You get a set 2 deck for each faction. You can get one for each, and those are 30 embers. So again, that's $3 or $1.50, depending on your price point. So again, worthwhile. My price point for a physical booster of set 2 is $15. I won't pay more than $15 for it. For set 1 or Kickstarter, it's $10, and set 3 I'm at like $25 roughly. Those are my price points that I try to make when I'm buying physical product. For digital product, my price point's lower because to be able to, there's a lot of, you can't use it physically currently until they come out with the print-on-demand stuff. But nonetheless, those are the price points I always use for things. So 4 decks at $3 each on the high end is still only $12 for basically a booster of digital. It's not bad. And seeing I bought at the highest level, it was only half that. It was only $6 total for 4 decks for a booster. So that was definitely worthwhile. And then here you got 2 boosters for what was going to be $10 or $20. Either way, $10 a booster is really good value. So I bought those deals, obviously. As you can see, they're bought out here. So these are eligible for anyone who signs in to the game. You just have to buy embers, which is basically just a currency, so you don't have to constantly go back into Steam to add money to your account. You can, if you have money on your account, you can just buy the embers, and then you've got that currency as you use it. And I've only bought the big pack once, so you can see I've used 420 total. I don't know what all this ran, but and of course we have our free Phantom boosters, which we'll get into after the store section here. We'll talk about that because there's a new feature in the game. Obviously, every month you'd claim your Phantom boosters, and now since they made the Soulbind potion, you can get potions to make them permanent in your account. Before it was either $10 or 7,500 gold. Now it's the Ember equivalent or the gold. You can see I've got 35,000 saved up. I haven't gotten any good Phantoms that I've wanted Soulbind. I had one, I think, in September, and after that I haven't had anything I was too interested in. They also have here, you can buy a booster of Last Winter for 200 Embers, so that's either the $10 or $20 price. Not a bad deal, but I think you can buy this unlimited times, as many embers as you have. So the new thing they have in game is that event queue, which we'll talk about, but you can also buy your tickets here. Right now you can sign in and get 2 for free, 2 tickets free, and then you can buy a ticket for 750 gold or 15 embers, whichever currency you want. It's nice you have an option. And then there's also a tournament starter bundle where you get 4 Last Winter boosters and an event ticket for 40 embers. We'll go down. Well, it's worthwhile. I'm not sure. We'll check the other 2 tabs here. But there was a spot where you could buy Phantom decks. And I don't know what the cost of those were. So, but I'm guessing that this blows that value away. So obviously Phantom decks are decks that you only get for a limited time. I know through the XP track, you can get some Phantom decks through there. I had long claimed mine a long time ago and let them run out. They were only good for a week. The monthly ones obviously are good for an entire month. I don't know how long these ones are good for. So tomorrow I'm going to live stream. I'm going to join the queue and play. Hopefully it'll be busy, and try to get some matches in. I'm going to buy this pack. I get the ticket and I get the Phantom decks. My current Phantom decks for this month aren't great, but I do have 4 of them from the monthly. So this will give me 8. I don't know exactly how it works. If I can use any 2 Phantom decks or how that works at all, we're going to find out. We'll learn together tomorrow. But I will buy this tomorrow and we'll test it out. But to me, it looks like a really good value. So I'll probably also switch over to my son's account and buy it there and test it out there while we're live streaming. So you can buy a Last Winter faction deck for 60 embers. So that's $6 or $3 depending on the price point. Again, how you bought your embers. At $3, it's not bad. I feel like for digital, I only want to spend $10 on a booster, just because they're digital. And if I want to do other things with them, mint them or anything of that nature, that's going to cost additional money. So I don't want to spend too much on the digital product. Obviously I'm willing to pay much more for physical product for at least Last Winter currently until set 4 comes out. And this is where you can buy the Phantom deck. So you can get a random Phantom deck for 500 gold or 12 embers. So that other pack got you 4 decks and the ticket for 40. The ticket is 15 alone, and the faction decks are 12. You're getting 4 of those. That's 48. You only paid 40, so you're getting the free ticket and a discount on the Phantom deck. So very good value. Again, if you're going to play in the event, I would buy this before you join in if you're going to play. Like I said, I don't know how long they last. I don't know if it's going to be a week, a month, how long. We'll find out tomorrow. We'll see how that works. I haven't heard any complaints yet, so either people haven't noticed a short duration or it hasn't been an issue. And then obviously potions, the Soulbind potion, 7,500 gold, 100 embers, and they have the other potions you can use in campaign. I did use the health potion in campaign on the 9th and 10th Ascension Scorchworm fights because I didn't want to lose when I got there. So you can use all 3 in a round if you want. So like it's not like one or the other or anything. You can use all 3 and get all 3 buffs. So if you're needing that boost to help you beat the next Ascension level, just remember you can buy potions here. So this has been the shop update. I don't know how long it's been. They just updated it again because obviously they just updated us with this events button. So obviously it's right here front and center, or if you go into play, there's it says active event 1 day, 8 hours, 24 minutes left. I don't know. So there was a suggestion. There was a suggestive comment by Justin Gary in Discord that sounds like they might be rotating what the active event is per week. Not positive. That's what it sounded like, though. Like they want to be able to do. So right now it's Phantom decks. Maybe next week it's, I don't even know. I don't have a clue what it might be, or if it's going to remain Phantom decks. So definitely going to get matches in tomorrow in this queue. But basically you click this button. It takes you here. So you can see join event, 1 ticket. The rewards for this, if you get 1 win, so obviously you're playing 3 matches total, and 1 win gets you 150 gold, 2 wins get you 300 gold, and 3 wins get you 600 gold, and both of your decks become soulbound. So right now, 3 wins is very, very valuable. The amount you win for winning 3 matches is so much better than 1 or 2 wins, and so much so that people have said if you lose a match before obviously you get your 3rd win, it's not worth continuing the event. It's better just to restart and maybe change your deck out, whatever you're playing with, or you know, whatever it is. So it looks like you have to fuse the deck in advance, or you pick, I guess. So I'm surprised it doesn't filter it by just phantom decks for you. I don't know if we can do just phantom decks. We can just do digital decks, though. So you can see one of my phantoms there. I don't know if I have any other phantoms at the moment. I don't. So I might just have the 4 for the month. Oops. What did I just hit? This is the screen I wanted to go back to. So yeah, so they're looking at potentially changing out what the rewards are, because once you lose a match, people don't want to continue. The 150 gold, 300 gold doesn't even get you an event ticket. 750 gold for a ticket. So the suggestion has been made. Don't know if they're going to do it or not, but 2 wins gets you an event ticket, or it could be 750 gold for all I care if that's how they want to do it. But basically, it gets you an event ticket saying, so if you lose your first match, let's say, you still have 2 more matches to do, you could get your event ticket back in value by just doing the other 2 matches, which makes it kind of worthwhile to just do them, to try to win them. Now, if you lose the second match, maybe it's not worth it to do the third match to try to get whatever the prize would be for the third match. There's a level there. So this isn't like 8 people join an event and you all play each other in a Swiss format where there's always going to be someone guaranteed to get 3 wins. This is a collective pool of players. You're playing a random person, random people 3 times. You could be playing someone who's on their first match each time. You could be playing someone who's on their third match each time. So because of that, normally you'd have 1/8 odds to where someone's going to guarantee get 3 wins. With it being a random selection, there's no guarantee anybody gets 3 wins. In theory, no one could ever get 3 wins, which it's fine. So it's, in my opinion, it's lower odds. I don't know the exact odds on how that would work out number-wise, if it matters how many people are in the pool or what. But so we also suggested with the third win, it just soul binds the decks, because that's enough of a prize in itself. Like, one, it's fun to just play in an event. You join the event with a ticket, and if you lose 1 match, that's okay. So it also helps when you win your first 2 matches. You go to your third match and then you lose it. Now you just lost like everything. But at least if you got an event ticket out of it, it's like, okay, I can join the next event for free. I've already got my phantom decks, because you have the monthly ones. Obviously, if you're winning, once they're soulbound, they're out of the pool. If you win a lot, you're going to have to buy new phantom decks, and that's just the way that is. But the soul binding both decks, that's equivalent to 15,000 gold. They're 7,500 gold each, or the ember cost is 100, was it? To soul bind a half deck, so it's 200 embers you're saving. That's quite a prize, okay? So they don't need the gold for the third win, and people just want an event ticket for the second win. And the first win, maybe just make it half the, 375 gold or something, so it's half a ticket, maybe. I don't know. And I think because of how the format they're doing, I think that's fair. So hopefully they hear the community out on that. I definitely think at least for the 2 and 3 wins, they're going to change it up. at least for this, when it's a Phantom deck tournament. I don't know how they're going to do, if they do other events, or how they're going to do prizing. So definitely curious how this is going to go. Hopefully, I don't know if changing it weekly is too much. It might be too much. But if they do, hopefully it's got some fun themes to it that is easily... Like, I just don't know if you could try this without a Phantom deck, if it'll let it enter or not. I have no idea. We're going to find out tomorrow. Maybe we'll try it tomorrow and see if we can sneak one past the system and see if it's broke or not. I would have hoped that when you hit the Fuse deck button here that it filtered only your Phantom decks, so that way you could see it easier. But we'll deal with this tomorrow as far as entering it and seeing how it works out. I've got 2 event tickets up here. There have been some bugs. If you... I don't know what's causing them exactly, what's the exact cause, but if you join the event, you complete an event, and you try to join another event, I've heard it eats a ticket, but doesn't let you join another event. Post to the Discord or email support@stoneblade.com. The support team will get you another ticket. If you post in Discord, it's probably going to be a faster route to getting that ticket back. There's also potentially where you exit the client, reopen the client, where tickets disappear. No idea. If you go on the Discord, you can read about that. People have posted some bugs up for that. So that's mostly what's new with the client. Been excited with the updates they've been doing. Happy to see they've got this event thing working in the client. It's a good start for that. Hopefully this will turn into where we don't have to do the events through the website, and you can still earn renown through the client and whatnot. And maybe they'll have hopefully something they're going to implement is like some sort of leaderboards for things. So this is all good in my opinion. Big improvements they've been making. Like I said, last thing I'll touch on the XP track, you can earn some Phantom decks along the way. You also earn permanent decks. So you can see here was at the 20,000 XP point, you got a Phantom deck. So now you can use these in that event and potentially get to keep them. I claimed all mine because I hate... my OCD just kicks in. I hate having things sitting there, and then I didn't want whatever. I had no idea this was coming, of course. So, do I wish I had saved them? Sure, it would have been nice. It would have gave me some more options to play some Phantom decks. So players can earn XP, get some Phantom decks, take them to these tournaments. You get 2 free tickets, like I said, if you go claim them in the shop, and you can play. If you get 3 wins, they get permanently added to your account. So that's really awesome. And this is great because, they gave us the Phantom decks, which was a good tool to get people to be able to see different sets depending on what they give each month. To be able to play with some decks, and for people who don't have large collections, to give them some additional options to play and build decks. And then players were like, I'm getting some really good decks here. I want to be able to keep these. Then they add the Soulbind potions for us, and now you can keep your decks, which is really nice. There's a cost to it, but it's worthwhile. It basically is saying, if you find a good deck, you can pay $10, or you can grind out the dailies and get all this gold and buy it for 7,500 gold if you want to grind in the game. And totally great option to do that. But you pay for the Soulbind potion. Now the deck is part of your permanent collection, which is really nice. And now they have this event that you can, even at a technically a lower price point, play the game, and your matches will still count towards your dailies as well. So it's kind of a double buff there. But now at a lower price point, you can join this event, and if you win 3 matches with that combination that you put together, both decks become soulbound. I mean, they're basically giving people free decks every month currently, as long as this Phantom event's going on currently, and I don't know what the plan is for, but currently they're giving you free decks you get to keep every month by just playing the game. So if you like the game, just play the game. You're good. I mean, yes, it's hard to win the 3 matches in a row, and people are going to have some crazy stuff out there, but at worst, you're spending a little bit of your gold to get tickets to re-enter, and I have to think if you play enough, by the time you would spend 7,500 gold for a soulbind potion, for one soulbind potion, so that's what, 10 tickets, you have, with the 2 free ones, you have 12 opportunities initially to get 2 decks soulbound. If you, even after 12 you didn't, you could buy another 10 tickets, you'd have another 10 chances before you would just break even if you got the 2 decks soulbound. That's really, really cool. So they're doing a lot to give stuff to the players, the community, for free, essentially free, by investing a little bit of time in the client. So I think it's a great thing they're doing, and I've got a large collection, so I don't necessarily just need decks to be able to make some different fuses. I've got plenty to do that with, but even, if I get a really good Phantom deck, I'm going to join in and try to get this, soulbound for free, or, 2 decks, because you're playing 2 halves, so like it's good for everybody. So kudos to Stoneblade for implementing this for everybody, and really happy to see that. Hopefully players so far seem to be enjoying it, of course. Haven't seen really any too many complaints other than the ticket eating. So, all is well in that. And that's everything with the client, I think, that I can recall. All the changes that have been made. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I've got for that. So let's talk about what's happening this month. Let me accept the cookies. So we have this month. So what they're trying to do, let's do this. Actually, let's go to Discord. They kind of laid out a little plan that they have. Okay, so they had obviously the big prize event in September for the Web3 launch, and that was a big success. I feel like it was definitely competitive decks, even though it was put out as a casual event. That thing was as difficult, in my opinion, as playing in Worlds was this past year. That was my take on it. So Lucas had said they want to try to do like one big event a month. I know they had a silver event in August, at the end of August, and it didn't get a lot of people to play. But hopefully going forward, people will sign up and play in these events. They're a lot of fun, and they're giving away a lot of prizes to try to entice people to come, and they're doing it in different ways. So obviously with the prize event, like, everyone got something. No matter how well you did, you got something. The better you did, the more you got. But even if you show up and lose all your matches, you were still getting something. So that was nice, and I would not expect that every time. And you'll see in this month's event, that's definitely how it's going to be. So you can see on the screen here, and I think it's also on the event page, the layout. But they're giving away prizes. It's going to be a silver event. So silver and below decks are going to be able to play, even though by their own rules, gold decks can technically play in silver events and get buys, but I'm not going to push it, even though I want to play with my gold deck, because I know everyone is bringing their best decks that they have that can play in this. And my best deck is a gold deck, unfortunately. But I've got another deck I've been testing, and I'm going to try it, I think, in this, and as long as I don't go like 0-4 or however many rounds there ends up being, it says 4 rounds in the top 8 cut. As long as I don't go like 0-4, I'll probably be pretty happy. I'm expecting pretty tough competition for this. And you can see first place is getting 32 last winter decks. So that's a lot of decks. That's 8 boosters of decks. 8 digital boosters. That's a lot. They get a first place badge that's going to be in the client. And then if your deck is minted, you can earn the 1,000 SFG. So for any of the SFG prizes here, your deck has to be minted. So I voiced a very open complaint about that, because I primarily play with physical decks, because I'm also personally prepping for Worlds next year. And we don't have the print on demand function. We don't know when that's coming, if it'll be out by then or not. So I try not to play with digital decks for that purpose when I'm doing competitive stuff. But I would still like to be eligible for the SFG. Now, my initial amount of SFG that I had staked a bunch of it. I eventually cashed a lot of it out when things seemed a little more uncertain with it. So I don't have any left. I don't want to take money and have to rebuy in. But I would like to be able to win SFG by playing in their events where they're giving it away. However, they're stipulating that your deck must be minted to do it. So, and I won't mint any of my physical decks currently. So I can't earn the SFG and be able to use it for later to be able to mint decks when I'm ready to. And it looks like for players who are new to the game, who did not get the airdrop, you have no entry into the Web3 world unless you take the steps needed to create the wallet, create the account to put money, to buy the Solana, to buy the SFG, to then buy, to mint your deck. So I feel it's a poor decision, but there's people behind the scenes pushing that agenda. I'm very much against it. I think they should be giving it to anyone, and whatever they decide to do with it, there are definitely people who are just going to cash it out, and so be it. That's not anyone's place to tell someone else what to do with it. But if you're trying to get new players who are not from the Web3 world into it, you need to give them something to get them to want to set all that up. It's not terribly difficult, but it does take a little bit of time to set up all the accounts needed to, especially when you're not into that world and don't know it all. You have to set it all up, and it takes a second. The wallet's easy, but then making an account to be able to put money on, to be able to get it, there's a whole process there. So yeah, I think they should be giving it to anyone and let people decide what they want to do with it. But it is what it is. Someone did make a suggestion of they should offer in-game embers. If you don't, you can either choose the SFG prize if your deck's minted, or you can get the embers if you don't get the SFG prize. And I think that's a good, it's a good solution to it, because these prizes are worth the 1,000 SFG. I don't know what it's trading at lately, but before, that would be a couple $100 essentially in value. They're basically giving people who minted a deck a couple $100, and in theory, you're like, oh, well, they minted a deck, so they're going to keep minting decks. That's what your hope is. But there's nothing saying that they're going to do that. They can usually just cash out these prizes and live off of their one minted deck until it becomes gold. So I have obviously some issues with it, but it is what it is. Hopefully they figure out a better path with that stuff. Because right now it feels there's a big segregation of the player base, in my opinion. And obviously, people who are in the Web3 world, they're gonna they've got no problem collecting all this stuff. They're gonna mint their decks. They probably don't have a lot of physical product to begin with, so there's that. And it's also frustrating with the money aspect is that they're giving away essentially a couple $100 in prize for first place, but then for Worlds you don't get anything, no cash value out of that. So hopefully that's going to change as well. But anyhow, prizes you can see 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th through 8th. So anyone who makes the top 8 is going to get minimum 2 boosters of decks for last winter, which is set 3. You'll get a top badge 1st through 4th or top 8. And then again, if you have minted deck, you can be eligible for the SFG prize. They have bonus prizes. So if you stream the event or record it and post it afterwards, you can get another booster. And if you promote the event, such as this, you can get an additional booster as well. There are ways for people who may not make top 8 to get prizes still. You won't get the badge, but you can earn up to 2 boosters by streaming or promoting the event. I am hopeful to be able to stream the event when it happens on the 23rd. It's my intention to stream it. So hopefully I'll get both of these prizes. That's my intention. At least get that much, get what I can, and then I'm hopeful for a top 8 finish. But like I said, I think the competition is going to be really strong. So there's no guarantees in that. And then we'll go to the event page here in a minute. They talk about you can use silver decks or below. And for the SFG prizing, you have to have minted deck. And then they talk about, which is what I wanted to get to, what's coming up. PAX Unplugged is December 6th through the 8th in Philadelphia. I will be going. I know a couple others are going to be going for sure. I know a handful of the SBE staff that will be going. Not sure. I know a few of the names. I don't know how many people are going to go from that or if that was going to be it. We'll talk about PAX after we talk about this event, the rest of this event stuff, go through that. I'll get the links up for signing up for the storyline event and the sealed tournament they're having. So then he also talks about December Random Deck League, more info to come. So that hasn't been put out yet. And then 2025 plans, of course, subject to change. They're planning to have January, February, and March have qualifier tournaments because they're going to have a silver championship in April. So I'm guessing these will be bronze events, and then April will be a silver championship event. And so that's going to be interesting. So that should be good. That'll get some competitive juices flowing up, leading up to Worlds next August. They say in May they're going to have another storyline event. So we'll see as these details come out in the future. We'll touch on them when we have more info on that. So none of that. That's just kind of what's coming in the future. And like I said, I'll touch on PAX Unplugged and get a little more details on that after we talk about this event. So as you can see, description has all the same info as the Discord post. It does mention here you have to be in the official online events Discord. For voice communication, you don't necessarily have to talk to people, but you need to be able to hear presumably Lucas giving instructions for each of the rounds and matches and such. So they set a preliminary limit of 64 participants. He can change that if it does get maxed out as we get closer to that date. It says 3 p.m. here, but it's 4 p.m. Eastern. This is 3 p.m. Central Time. So let me pull the Discord back up real quick. On the Discord, up here, this date and time, when you go to it on Discord yourself, will have it in your local time. They have a name for what this type of time is in Discord. I forget what they call it, but this time will have your local time listed. So this is one of the best ways to know exactly when an event is taking place, because there are so many time zones, and the third-party software does not always get it right. Or it does, but it's not clear what time zone that is. If I was looking at just this, even though he puts down here 4 p.m. Eastern, and I just saw the 3 p.m., I mean, granted, I'm showing up an hour early, which is okay, versus being an hour late, but other people could be an hour late for them. So I like following the time in the Discord that they put when they use that special code where it puts it in your local time. Of course, you have this, and if you're watching this, you know that I'm saying it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. Convert that to your own local time from there if needed. So 13 players have registered so far. So we have the usual suspects, as I like to call them. We do have some new names that I haven't seen before, which is cool. Always good to get. So there's 3 names I haven't seen before. It's good to see new players always joining in. You never know what somebody's going to have. There are a lot of players who maybe don't play a lot of online games or do a lot of events, so you don't know that these people are out there, and they could have really good collections, really good decks. You never know what somebody's going to bring. Some people have already posted what decks they are bringing. I'm going to peek at this, share with you guys what we got for Carl and Bryce. I think I know what both are bringing. I have an idea, I feel like. These are the 2 that won they won the prize event. So I would expect both of these players to be in that top 8 for sure. There's no guarantees, but I feel like, So this is Bryce's deck, and I feel like this is the same deck he had before. This is he's done well. I don't know what it'll show for just the breakdown. I think we have to get the actual links for each half deck to see the information. So, of course, it's a Utera Necrium deck. No Mantis, no Forge Seal, no Krogaius, but it does have life gain. So it's the typical Utera Necrium with a lot of life gain drain type stuff. He's got Blight Witch, Darkheart Sorcerer. He's got a Shambler. This deck has very strong removal. I've played him several times against this deck. I feel like I always lose. I always get frustrated by it because it's so hard to stop his deck from doing what it needs to do, because he has mechanics built in, intentional or not, where like the Scourge Hydra, for example. Last time I played him, I feel like he got that off every cycle, and he was able to destroy one of his own creatures beforehand, before playing it, to get it to proc for those who don't know what Scorch Hydra does, it destroys an enemy creature. If one of your creatures was destroyed this turn, he can use the Blight Witch to do that. He can use Dissing Siphon to do it. But he has a lot of things built in to be able to proc what he needs to happen. So it's a very strong deck. It's a very good deck. By no means is it impossible to beat, but decks that can create for themselves definitely are difficult to play against, because there's, a lot of times when you're playing against somebody, something you can do is you can interrupt what they're trying to do by destroying certain things, or whatever mechanic it might be that you're doing, that you're interrupting. You're able to force them to have to do something that they didn't plan to do. His deck, though, you can't really stop it. If he gets the right cards in his hand, he can just do what he needs to do and ignore you. I'm pretty sure he plays the Darkforge Drain half with this deck, which is also early on in the match that can be killer. Honestly, thankfully there's no Mantis in this deck, but yeah, this deck is awesome and he plays it top notch. So I would be willing to bet he's going to be definitely looking to make the top 8. And then we have Carl's deck. Ooh, is he playing a different deck? He's playing a different deck. I'm not sure if he's playing a different Aloyan half, but his Utera half is definitely different. I feel like it is. I feel like he had his Mantis Forge Seal Gaius. I think he's got a couple of those. But I'd have to look back at the other events to see if it's different or not for sure. But I feel like it's different. But it might not be. He had a deck with the Utera half that I said in my last video about that he played in the prize event. He'd used that he used that deck in 2 events in particular, where at least where he placed, where there were big rewards available. But this looks to be a different half, so maybe it leveled out and it can't be used. I'm not sure, or he's just trying something different, similar but different. I'm not sure. He's got, he does have a Mantis, but he does not have Darkforge Drain, and he could be going with Ironbeard as a kind of a suppressive type to see how this plays out. He's got Rallying, Drix, which is nice. No Apocamancer. I feel like his other deck had Apocamancer too. I could be wrong. Not positive on that. So, like I said, I have to look back to see. Carl always has creative decks. He never goes for the mainstream decks, in my opinion. He's one of the few players that does this. He intentionally goes to things that other people don't play for whatever reason. Granted, he still will use key cards that impact things. So like Mantis, obviously he still has a Mantis in there. Granted, there's no overwhelming ability that's just broken with it necessarily. He can get value out of it, but I don't think in this particular combination it looks broken at all. It's not like a Darkforge Drain or certain other abilities, but and then of course with Aloyan, set 1 Aloyan, there's very few archetypes to build from, and Drix and Rallying is part of one. It doesn't have the Apocamancer, which is kind of the third piece to that, and then of course this isn't a Madla Winter deck, but yeah, so he's got 2 interesting halves here. I don't know how this deck plays at all. The Forge Plate Yeti looks interesting. He's got experienced steel plate. Does he have it over here? He does not have a steel plate there. It's a nice Betrayer with the steel plate. So he does obviously have some replace synergy. I'm not big on the Epoch Soldier, but they can definitely have value in certain situations. Free play, big damaging spell there can be. So he's definitely got some abilities to ready the Mantis to be able to use an ability multiple times. I have to think he's going with Ironbeard here. That's just what I think. I don't know though. I don't play Carl a whole lot, so I don't know exactly what his strategy is here. But he's definitely got a lot of tools here. He's got the Leyline Vermin, which can be helpful. Man, this looks like an interesting fuse, and I'm sure if this is what he's entering, it's going to do well. That's just my opinion. They're both very good players, and they have both of them probably have really good decks for this. So no one else has submitted decks yet. So people who are watching this and getting ready to sign up for the tournament, understand if you register your deck, it is going to be shown. Lucas probably should have turned that off, but that's okay. We get a little sneak peek. I had a feeling Bryce was going to bring that deck anyhow. And Carl looks like he's got a new fuse. He's probably been testing it tons though, because he's always playing. So yeah, hopefully more people sign up, and I'm sure as we get closer, more people will sign up to participate and play. But I expect it to be a really competitive event, and hopefully everyone brings the heat, so to speak. So the link for this, anything in that I've talked about today for that would have a link, I will try to post it in my description for the video. I'll definitely be having this link, and I will be having the next two tabs I have definitely up there for packs. So this is going to be, like I said, this is November 23rd. This is the weekend before Thanksgiving. Then we obviously have Thanksgiving, and then the week after that we have PAX Unplugged. And in that time frame as well, I imagine that first after Thanksgiving they'll announce whatever the December league they talked about is going to be. I don't know if they're going to have a big event in December or not, with Christmas and New Year's all there by the end of the month. PAX at the beginning of the month. I'm not sure if they're going to have a big event. It might just be that league, but then things will pick back up in the new year. But yeah, so this is the November Silver tournament, and there's plenty of prizing here for anyone who gets top 8. And right now, you have 8/13 chance of being top 8. So really good odds right now to make top 8. As we get more players, your odds will go down. But I recommend anyone who has been playing the game, whether you're new, old, or whatever, I highly recommend you sign up and play in this event. If you aren't doing well or can't stay the entire time, that's okay too. Come play and interact with the community. It's always a good time. I highly recommend this stuff. I think it's so much fun, especially in between matches, in the Discord, people talking. There's always interesting things going on. So yeah, I will have this link in the description so people can go here and register themselves for this event. Like I said, if you make top 8, you're automatically getting some prizing no matter what. It's 4 rounds, then top 8 cut. So, yeah, hopefully everyone can make it. And, so then we talked about PAX Unplug a little bit. And I'll have these links in my description as well. These are the links to sign up for PAX Unplugged. So something different. And I don't know if it's just a PAX thing or if it's going to be how it's going to be for events going forward. For PAX Unplugged, they're going to have you sign up for the event here on these two websites to play. So entry is free, sort of, for these events. But they do have player caps set for each of them, 40 for each. So one is a sealed tournament, and one is the storyline tournament or event. So for the sealed tournament, you have to bring your own sealed booster. And as far as I know, it can be any set currently. There hasn't been anything saying it's set 1, 2, or 3. So pick what set you want and bring that. You can also buy boosters there. They will be selling product, so you'll be able to buy a booster there if you want. That's basically the entry fee, is having the sealed product. So that's going to be interesting. This will be a unique sealed event as far as I know, because normally it's everyone plays from the same set. This is, you're bringing your own, so I could have set 1, you could have set 2, someone else have set 3. We're going to see how that works out. I think that's going to be great. That'll be good fun, because there's strengths and weaknesses to each set. As matter as if, which one's the best one for sealed, I really don't know offhand. I'm going to have to put some thought into that for which one I'm going to want to use. But yeah, so you bring your own sealed booster, and that's what you'll use in this event. Currently 7 people signed up, so we can have up to 40, and then it's free to sign up on this site here, and I'll have the link for it in my description. And then for the storyline event, it is going to be a constructed tournament. There are no, I think Lucas said he prefers bronze decks for this, but it's just a storyline event, so I don't know what type of special, normally with storyline events there's some sort of special ability or something you get to do with the decks that changes how everything plays. So no idea what that's going to be yet. And so just bring a constructed deck. If, let me see what day. Oh, darn, they got it backwards in that regard. Well, so yeah, you'll have to bring a constructed deck. You can't use your sealed decks to play because you'll need them for the next day after. This is on the 7th. The other thing's on the 8th. Again, free to play. There's 4 players signed up for the storyline event. This normally gets filled out. So people who just show up are going to be able to hop on this website and register themselves. And this is a lot easier, in their opinion, than having somebody go to their event page, register their deck, etc. to do this. This basically just lets people who maybe haven't played SolForge Fusion before, allows them to participate in whatever, in this case, the storyline event. All they have to have is a constructed deck. So, if you're going to be there and have time to play, definitely sign up and come play with us. I'm already registered. I assume, obviously, we have more people registered for the sealed event on Sunday, and Saturday is the storyline event. Only 4 players registered so far. I'll have both these links in my description. Definitely look forward to seeing people there. I will definitely be around that area regardless, as I don't have any plans to go test any other games or anything of that nature, really. I'll look for a few things that I have in mind. If I see them, I might go check that out, but otherwise I'll probably be around the Stoneblade area, to play random matches, just hang out, whatever. Um, that's my plan. I don't get to play a lot of physical where I'm at. We don't have a local scene really. So I enjoy playing with people there, and I'm also going to be volunteering some of my time on the Friday to help demo, um, or run events, depending on what they need and what I can do. But if I'm demoing SolForge Fusion, then I'll be there teaching people how to play, introducing them to the game, and that'll be a lot of fun. So if you're planning on being at PAX Unplugged, you'll probably see me there in some fashion, whether it's in one of these events or in and around the Stone Blade uh, play area or where they're selling their product, one or the other. I'll definitely be around the entire weekend. So looking forward to that. Yeah, so this is what you need for PAX Unplugged to register for the events. Like I said, they're free. You just have to bring your own sealed booster for the sealed event and a constructed deck, preferably bronze or unranked, for the storyline event. And as always, with the storyline event, there's special parameters that get interjected into the gameplay that changes how everything works. So you could bring a deck that's really good in normal constructed play, but it may not work out very well in the storyline. You just don't know how things are going to work. Or maybe your deck's just average, and whatever buff the storyline event gives us makes your deck really awesome. So it's just a lot of fun. So looking forward to it. I really had fun when I went to Gen Con this year for Worlds and the sealed event there, or the storyline event rather. I didn't do any of the sealed events. I wish I would have done at least one of them, but I didn't sign up initially for it. But this is a little different. Like I said, everything's free. You don't have to buy a ticket in advance and go wait in a line to go get your ticket to do the events. But I had a really good time at Gen Con with all this stuff, so I'm going to PAX Unplugged and looking forward to having another great time. Hope to see all of you there. The more the merrier, in my opinion. So this is basically everything that I can think of that I wanted to touch on. We touched on last month's storyline event, the Scorchworm campaign a little bit. We talked about all the updates to the client that have been really good in my opinion for the most part. We talked about the November Silver event coming in a couple weeks. I think we're 2 weeks out from that. So that's going to be real fun, real competitive. Lots of prizes given out there if you make top 8. And opportunities to earn boosters if you don't make top 8, if you promote the event or stream it, all that stuff. And then touched on some future events they're hoping to implement starting next year with the qualifier events and the Silver Championship. And I expect after that time frame they'll be looking to do stuff leading up to Worlds. I'm guessing the Silver Championship is a means to lead up to Worlds. So looking forward to that. Something else I didn't talk about that I'll touch on real briefly here is they're working on finishing up Set 4. I feel like I did mention Set 4 a little bit, but I really didn't go into it too much. Set 4, they are hoping to have released by the end of the year. I think it was the initial timeline. I don't know if that's still the timeline or not. It may be after the new year. I don't know where they are exactly in that process, but they are definitely working diligently on that to finish up that process. So Lucas, when he streams on Wednesdays, has been trying to give little spoilers, I guess, little tidbits here and there of different things. I think he showed some artwork a couple weeks ago. I don't always see his stream, so I don't know what he's put out there. Every time I am on, though, I try to get him to go through everything so I have a list. But we did talk about what faction's getting the legendary and what type of creature it's going to be, and then we do know that the Kreesh brothers, who won the first 2 Ultimate Championships, I think it was, their card art that they're getting is going to be in set 4. And there's potential, but I haven't heard anything official. The past 2 world champions, Sam and Hellkite, Sam and Steven, they have card art as well. Steven actually has card art from another, potentially an Ultimate Championship. He's got something else that he won where he has that. So he's got that, and then Sam has his card art. I don't know if those are going to be in set 4 or not as well, or if they're going to be set 5. I'm not positive on that. Haven't heard anything on that. And then Steven has a second one that he should be getting, and that will probably be like set 5 or something, or later. It would be my guess. So exciting stuff for that. The only card art that I'm aware of in the game currently is Stegos for a player card art. And those can be won through special certain events that they have. They're not having an Ultimate Championship this time at PAX Unplugged, so there's no opportunity to earn the card art that I'm aware of unless they add it to the storyline. But it's exciting. So I'm looking forward to set 4. It should definitely be interesting. There's a lot of good vibes around that. Hopefully that comes out sooner than later. I really just can't wait for it. Looking forward to that. But I think I've covered everything I can here. We touched on PAX Unplugged, of course, and we touched on those future events for as much as we know. As if we get more info on those future events before they come out, hopefully by then I'm set up for how I need to be to do this more regularly. Then I can put out videos on that content. And as they make more changes to the client, I'll probably do more videos related to the client. And as I said, this is Saturday, November 9th, so I am planning to stream tomorrow, Sunday the 10th. Not sure exactly what time yet. I will definitely post a link in Discord when I go live. I will be doing the event queue with the Phantom decks. I'm going to buy the special pack they have. I will buy that tomorrow, and we'll see what I get. We'll get surprised at the same time. And as I said, depending on how that goes, I will probably sign over to my son's account and buy it on his account and play with it there, because he probably will not use that, but I can use it. So I plan to stream, I don't know, probably a couple hours at a minimum of playing if it's active. I don't know how the queue works or whatnot. Hopefully it's not like the online battle queue where you could be sitting there waiting 20 minutes before you get a match. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how active it's been. It seems like it's been fairly active, so hopefully that's the case. And look forward to streaming that tomorrow. That'll be on Twitch, my Twitch account for that. So, I know this has been a long video, but there was lots to cover, and I didn't really want to miss and leave anything out because I think everything's been somewhat important. I will, again, leave links for anything that I feel that we can use them for that are relevant for everybody, so that way people have access to get to the various websites to sign up for different events and such. And I'll of course have the Discord invite on there, and I will have I'll put up the SolForge Discord as well, so you can have access to them as well if you want. And yeah, I guess that's really it. I just want to say thank you for watching this video, sticking it out. I know it was long. Hopefully you found some value in some of this information, and hopefully if you haven't tried it out, you will. And hopefully, hopefully it makes you want to play the game a little bit more. I know for me, it has. For the most part, I've been playing a lot more lately in the client. And as far as these episodes go, I would like them more regular, but I just haven't been able to. So I will be trying to, by at least starting next year, hopefully I have everything by then that I need set up to be able to do this more regularly. So there'll be shorter videos, but I'm also going to get into some other content that I've been wanting to do. I do some internal testing, and I will be going through some of that with you guys on what I do, why I do it, and maybe it helps you guys, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but I think it'll be interesting to go through that, and hopefully people will enjoy that. I'll also have some matches I will be going through and talking about either as I play them or after the fact, depending on what we're doing there. So yeah, and then any of these events I'm going to be I'll be trying to stream. I may be recording videos. We're going to see how that works for that. But yeah, I guess that's it. So thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. This has been Rallying the Forge, and I will see you guys next time. This has been an episode of Rallying the Forge. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.